We're back with another video. Thanks again for liking this video, and if you can subscribe to the channel, it will be greatly appreciated. Again, this is Larry Poteat Jr. I'm your real estate agent and your personal finance consultant. Today, we're going to focus on real estate, and I'm going to give a high-level overview of the home buying process. I love working with first-time home buyers as well as other home buyers and home sellers, but I really wanted to focus in on a first-time home buyer because it's a very significant event, and I want to make sure you have all of your needs met and all of the information before you step foot into this particular process. Step one is to make sure that you have a knowledgeable real estate agent. This real estate agent is going to be your eyes and ears throughout this process. They're going to make sure that you're comfortable and that you can afford this particular transaction. Step two is starting to work with a loan officer. And as a real estate agent, I work with loan officers and mortgage brokers and other financial specialists. We're going to make sure that your budget is intact, that you can afford your home, but also once you purchase the home, that you can afford the maintenance associated with it as well. There are two parts of affordability. One, we want to make sure that you have the adequate amount of savings set aside for the costs that are associated with the purchase of a home. I want to make sure that your savings account is where it needs to be, that you have the money that you need for a down payment and also for the closing costs for the transaction. I want to make sure after you purchase that you can afford the monthly upkeep when it comes to your home, that you can afford your new monthly payment when it comes to your mortgage, any HOA fees, which are your homeowners association fees, your condo fees, your utility payments. I want to make sure you can afford all of those costs, and your loan officer is going to make sure of that as well. Next, we're going to make sure that your loan officer is going to give you options. There are various sets of loans, whether it's FHA, VA, conventional. You're going to hear those type of loans. I'm not going to get into the specifics on that, but between your loan officer and other mortgage specialists, they're going to make sure that you're in the best situation as possible. And that's also my job, to make sure that we have your best interests at heart. So we're going to make sure the options that fit you are going to make sure you're in a as comfortable situation as possible. And so next would be, it's time to preview the homes. This is the exciting part. We're going to make sure, I know you already have your list down. You want this amount of bedrooms, bathrooms, you want a basement, you want a garage, you want this, you want that. We're going to make sure that we fit that into your budget, but also that we can check off as many of your must-haves. We're going to make sure that we cross off as many of your must-haves as possible. And so we're going to take the information that comes from your loan officer. Your loan officer is going to say, you can afford this particular number. So whether that's $500,000, $1 million, etc. And they're also going to let you know what that equates to as far as your monthly payment. Once we hit that mark associated with your must-haves, then we have a match. And then the next step will be to submit an offer. With your offer, we're going to make sure that we put in various contingencies as well. We're going to make sure that we take in consideration home inspection. We're going to make sure that the home is safe for you, that it has the least amount of issues as possible. We're also going to make sure that the home is of value. That's when the home appraisal comes in. And then also we want to make sure that there's a financial contingency in there as well, because things do come up and we want to make sure that you always have an out when it comes to your particular contract. Next would be the buyer in your case and the seller agree to all of the terms of the contract. That's called contract ratification. Once that occurs, it's time for your home inspection. And at that particular point, a part of my team, which is the home inspector, comes out and looks at every aspect of the house. They go from your foundation to your roof, to your plumbing, to your electrical. Everything is taken under consideration because we want to make sure that you do not have any issues when it comes to your home, or if there are any issues, you know about them and we can get those taken care of, repaired or replaced, etc. So we want to make sure that's done, as well as we want to make sure a termite inspection is done as well, because we don't want you to go into a home that has any termite issues. Next will be your home appraisal. And an appraisal is really just making sure your home is of value. And so if your home is worth $500,000, you cannot take out a loan for $700,000. You can only take out a loan for whatever the value of your home is. So that's why a home appraisal is very important. Next would be completing your loan process. Before, you were pre-qualified. And so when it's time for your loan officer to give you your affordability, or as far as what number you can afford and at what monthly payment, that's going to be your pre-qualification letter. So we want to get that pre-qualification letter before we submit an offer, because that letter has to go within the package that's associated with your contract offer. And so now we're at the final stages. And so we want to make sure that your loan is complete, and that means approved, fully approved. So it's already gone through underwriting. There's no contingencies. And so now we're able to fully approve your loan. At that particular point, it's time for your final walkthrough. You received a clear to close. That means it's time to close. We can move on to settlement, but we must do your final walkthrough. And your final walkthrough is making sure the home still appears the way that it's been appearing throughout the entire process. So the first time that we showed you the home to the time that we did the inspection to this final walkthrough, we want to make sure everything is still as is. We want to make sure there's no hole in the ceiling, that there's no foundational issues, that there's no issues with any appliances. We want to make sure that everything still looks as is, because a tornado could have came through a week ago and now there's damage to the house. You don't want to take ownership when something is changed to the home or there's damage to the home. So we want to make sure before you get those keys, before you sign that loan, that your home is still situated and appears the way it needs to be. And then also letting you guys know too, going back to the home inspection, like I said, the home inspector will look at everything. And if there were any issues right before your final walkthrough, if there were any repairs needed or anything that needed to be fixed, that's when we'll go back and we'll assess things at your final walkthrough, just to make sure everything was repaired, or any issues that came up previously, that those were taken care of. Next would be your settlement. And that settlement, I'm still in the picture. I'm still looking at the documentation. I'm making sure that every step, every T was crossed, every I was dotted, everything is taken care of. So once you get those keys, you're issue free. You're not dealing with anything at that particular point. Keys are given to you. Everything is taken care of. You're now an owner. Congratulations to you. And congratulations on another front as well, because as a real estate agent, I'm now part of your family. This is a very significant event. You put a lot of trust in me. I treated you with the excellent customer service. And so we're now family. We're now friends. And so this is a lifelong relationship after this. I do not treat clients as a number or just a transaction. And so going through this process, all of my real estate clients are now my friends or family. And so that's how I would treat you. So I'm looking forward to working with you in the near future. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a blessed day.